a Bleach fandom community podcast brought to you by blocking super powerful attacks with one hand. All the cool kids are doing it. Hey everybody, my name is Del, and today I'm joined by Nomi.
Heya!
Hi. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of a season with these 3 episodes.
We are.
So, yeah. I don't know about you, but I thought it was quite satisfying to get to the end of a series of episodes for a podcast recording and be like, oh, we've actually reached some resolution, and I feel like we can take a bit of a breath for just a second.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the more appropriately timed filler seasons that are coming up.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, God.
They ended it really well, the end of this season.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, filler seasons, flashback seasons, whatever. Sometimes they just seem so abrupt. I loved how self-aware they were in the after credits scene, by the way. When they were like, oh no, production had to go a different direction, so here's a filler arc. We're not hiding why this is happening.
No, and then Nell's there saying, I'm gonna miss you, bye.
I know.
Cute.
I really, especially ever since, like, last week's podcast episode when we talked about this a little bit, I don't know. I think I like Nell way more than I ever have before.
Yeah.
Like, she's actually endearing to me, which I've never felt that way.
I mean, I've got a soft spot for any kind of kid anyway. And when she's
I don't. In real life I do, but in anime I often don't.
I couldn't do what I did if I didn't like kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true.
So, but yeah, when she's not being too over the top, when the anime is not butchering her, I like her. But yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, so I guess it's only appropriate to get the end of this anime season off the ground rolling with some episode summaries.
Yeah. Let's get it rolling like some rolling punches.
Oh, or Rolling Star, which is, like, not the right theme song for this series of episodes anyway, but it is one of my favorites.
Yep, it's up there.
Oh, it's so good. Anyway, I digress. Let's start with those summaries. Episode 165, Murderous Intent, The Joyful Grimmjow. After much flashing back to the end of Uryu and Renji's scuffle with Zyalaparo Grands, we return to the busted-up remains of both that tower? Pillar tower? Anyway, alongside the busted-up remains of Ichigo himself, as Orihime, under the supervision of Grimmjow, tends to Ichigo's wounds, inflicted by Ulquiorra, who, in a feat of stoic-faced Sunito-ing, appears right behind Grimmjow. Ulquiorra attempts to stop Orihime's healing efforts, and Grimmjow and Ulquiorra exchange a few blows. But soon enough, Grimmjow goes balls to the wall and casually traps Ulquiorra in a closed dimension using a technique called Caja de Negacion, which he figures will buy himself, Orihime, and Ichigo a cool 2 or 3 hours, in which time he expects Orihime to heal Ichigo completely so he and Ichigo can fully fight to the death. Ichigo, who is now alive and awake, asks Orihime to heal both his own wounds and Grimmjow's, so the two of them can have a fair fight. And, begrudgingly, Orihime agrees. So, Ichigo goes instant Bankai, and Ichigo and Grimmjow start duking it out. Grimmjow taunts his adversary, asking Ichigo why he didn't simply run away with Orihime when he had the chance, and insisting that deep down, Ichigo probably wants to rip Grimmjow to pieces. Ichigo seems to doubt his own motivations for a split second, which is all it takes for Grimmjow to charge up a big, badass Gran Ray Sero. Grimmjow lets his Sero fly, and it seems to strike Ichigo, until the chaos clears. And we see Ichigo standing, determined and apparently pretty unscathed, wearing his hollow mask.
Which leads us straight into episode 166, Desperate Effort versus Desperate Effort, the Hollowfied Ichigo. Ichigo had dodged Grimmjow's Gran Reisero by dodging his hollow mask, and after checking that Orihime is alright, he turns back to the mighty Espada. Or should that be sweet little kitty cat? For Grimmjow releases his resurrection, Pantera, and channels his inner Princess Kitty. Sorry, that's King Panther. My mistake. But if you would whirl around like a ballerina, then it's an easy mistake to make. Not too far away, Espada Halibel is watching the battle with her facciones Apache, Mila Rose, and Sun. Whilst they bicker and tease one another about being scared, Halibel remarks that it's understanding that they're afraid, for it is a primal fear. However, despite knowing that Grimmjow is fighting a human, if she didn't know any better, she said that it was two Espada fighting. Ichigo, who isn't an Espada, but is still maintaining his hollow mask that the boss he is, proving that in the past couple of hours he's done nothing but improve. Which, when you think about it, is pretty impressive. However, neither him nor Grimmjow have the upper hand, proving that they are somewhat evenly matched. Grimmjow takes a cheap shot though and fires towards Orihime and Nell, causing Ichigo to protect them. He soon realizes though that he's probably scaring Orihime and turns back to the battle. Orihime watches him in fear, wondering if it's actually Ichigo fighting and fearing that he has been consumed by the hollow, much like her brother had been consumed by his. But she soon remembers why she came here in the first place and calls to Ichigo not to die. Ichigo, realizing that Orihime is no longer scared, finally lashes out at Grimmjow, slashing him across the chest and announcing that he is not allowed to get hurt anymore.
And then, rounding out Season 8, of Bleach, we have episode 167, The Moment of Conclusion, aptly named, actually, the end of Grimmjow. So, having heard the doleful cry of Orihime's voice, Ichigo redoubles his efforts. He slices Grimmjow with a devastating attack and declares that the fight is over, but Grimmjow, on the ground and clearly in pain, declares that Ichigo hasn't yet won. We slip into flashback, and we learn a lot about Hollow evolution, and we get a glimpse into Grimmjow's violent, hungry past. Grimmjow's sense of self was strong, and his power was great back when he roamed the sands of Hueco Mundo, so much so that eventually he evolved into an Adhuchas, a powerful kind of Hollow driven by a constant fear of regression and degeneration. He soon meets a crew of other Adhuchas with sort of familiar faces. These are none other than D-Roy, Xiaolong, and the rest of the crew that would eventually come to form Grimmjow's Fracciones. They are hell-bent, as it were, on evolving into Vasto Lordes, and want Grimmjow and his tremendous power to unite and guide them. But, even after the group kills and eats 1,000 Hollows, they all remain Adhuchas and conclude that their evolution has come to an end. Well, hope that doesn't provide any convenient openings for any erstwhile Shinigami with big brains, a killer head of hair, and an insatiable thirst for power. Anyway, back in the present day, Grimmjow pulls out all the stops and tries to best Ichigo using his Desgaron technique. But it's not enough. Ichigo deals Grimmjow one more blow, and after the last few shards of his hollow mask fall away, Ichigo returns to his hype squad, aka Orihime and Nell, and takes Orihime's hand and stares out across the bright blue cloud-streaked sky, which still makes absolutely no sense, by the way. Like, Aizen, if you built that into Las Noches, I don't know what you were thinking. It is confusing for all parties involved. We get that you're into aesthetic, but, like, what is that choice? Anyway, having done that, Ichigo prepares to maybe bring Orihime home. Maybe. I guess we'll see.
In like a season or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's so much to get through. Wowie. I gotta say, the filler arc that takes place, like, I don't hate it, but I'm kind of like, what was that choice the whole entire time? Like, it's a bananas filler arc. Yeah. It's super, super wild.
If you do anything, though, check out the opening and the endings. You don't have to watch.
Yes, agreed.
Because this opening and ending is just for this season. We won't see it when we come back. So if you just want to check out the opening and ending, that's you totally do that. We totally recommend you do that.
It's worth doing. I like all of the openings and ending. I mean, I guess I don't want to like make a blanket statement or anything, but for the most part, the openings and the endings slap. And I will also say, the opening theme to this arc, in the covers where like the characters, the seiyus cover some of the openings and closings. The seiyu who voices Uryu covers this opening, and it's just so good. It's just so lovely. It's just delicious. I love it a lot.
Yeah.
It's called Chubara. It's really good. It's one of my favorites.
It's really
Easy.
good.
It's like my favorite running song ever. Yeah. And well,
I definitely love the fact as well.
Yeah, no, you go. I know where you're going with this. You go.
No, I was just gonna say I definitely love the fact that it's the same. If you're watching, no matter where you're watching the anime, in dub or sub, you're gonna get the same opening. It's not like a lot of modern things have.
Yeah, true.
Kind of translated the opening songs, and Bleach hasn't done that. They've kept it. They've honored the original opening and kept it when they moved it over to Western audiences.
I love that they did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that. So there are two closing themes, and the voice actor who plays Yukitake covers the second one. But it's fine. That one's called Gallop. It's a less good song, but he's a very good singer too. Anyway, not to go off too much about that, but yeah, we're not here to talk about the filler arcs, which is like honestly fine.
So moving back to this season, because we've not actually finished this season yet.
Yeah, that's true. We have to. Yes, that's true.
Yep.
We have things to talk about before we can actually say that we've done that.
Yep.
Yes.
Shall we move on to those manga anime differences?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So for episode 165, we had 3 manga chapters that this took from. Chapter 278, Heal from the Crash, which I totally read as Crush.
Ooh.
Judging by what we were saying last week with the whole Ulquiorra versus Grimmjow fighting for Ichigo. But no, it's Crash,
exactly.
not Crush.
Well, it was probably a typo. We know what they meant.
Chapter 279, which is Jugulators, and
Ooh.
280, which is Jugulators 2.
Oh, for God. Well, that's not very creative now, is it?
It's not, no. But, I mean, Jugulators is a band. Again, he's drawing elements from his metal band albums that he likes.
So, I mean, while we're there, it's worth noting that Pantera is also a metal band.
Yeah.
They're pretty well known
it's also got the jugular kind of connotations as well. So
yeah.
But actual anime differences, we've got the Pesce, Ishida, Renji, and Dondo Chaka is
oh my
filler.
God. Gee,
Yep,
really? Couldn't have guessed.
Poor Renji and Dondo Chaka have been pulled into Ishida and Pesce's filler antics.
Ugh.
The flashbacks that we had in the anime, we've got Orihime remembering Ichigo's journey, we've got Ichigo remembering Grimmjow attacking Rukia and the first fight. They were anime only. And then this was an interesting one. So in the anime, we had Grimmjow making the motion of slitting his throat, but he says, "I'll put you down." Whereas in the anime, in the manga, he actually says, "Now I'm gonna slit your throat."
Huh.
And then in the dub, it says, "Let's get started. I'm going to choke the life out of you and finally prove which one of us is stronger."
Holy moly. Also, oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh. Oh, wow. Because it's just, So there's a thing that we learned in some stage combat classes that I took when I was getting an acting degree. And one of the things that has always stuck out to me is like what it says about the relationship between two people who are fighting based on the way that they try to kill each other, if indeed it is a fight to the death. The idea of choking someone out is slow and really intimate, but slitting someone's throat is quick and fast and potentially even merciful. So that change in language implies really different connotations about the relationships between those two characters. And I mean, we get to see the way the fight actually shakes out, and like nobody is wrapping their hands around anybody's throat in this fight at any time. I don't remember that happening. So like that level of intimacy doesn't really have a role in this fight, but it's that translation choice is really curious. Oh wow.
Yeah, definitely. And because he makes the motion of the throat, like he has
Right,
his
right,
thumb,
right.
and he does that kind of universal language of "I'm gonna slit your throat" type
Oh
thing.
yeah, totally.
So the anime decided to just have it all done by his motions and just saying, "I'll put you down," whereas both the manga and the dub took the throat, almost jugular, if you will, if we're going to take the manga chapter of Jugulators as jugular, kind of connotations that way, and kept at least something to do with the throat in. Either it's slit your throat or choke. So yeah.
Oh, weird.
And it's weird that it was the sub that censored that and the dub didn't. Because the dub seems a lot more... You wouldn't expect that from a dub, to be fair.
No, I suppose not. I guess I wonder if the localization team needed to match lip flaps. Like, sometimes that's where those choices come from, TBH. It's hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, that's all there was for that episode. Just that. Yeah,
Okay, so pretty loyal sounds like.
Yeah, these chapters were pretty loyal.
Okay.
I was
cool.
nitpicking for a lot of them.
Great. Oh, it's funny. It's like they were the team was clearly aware that they were gonna have to buy some time according to the production schedule, manga release schedule, like who knows.
Yeah.
But it's nice that despite that, all they really did was inject some like dumb slapstick filler, but then leave everything else kind of as it's supposed to be, so that none of the true story gets lost.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell they're gonna be loyal by how many chapters they use. Like all three of these episodes only used 3 chapters, and they weren't jumping around the place either.
Yeah, good call. Okay, well that's good to hear. Okay, cool. Oh boy. So in that case, I guess there were a couple of things that I wanted to touch on in episode 165. One of them was just like a dumb thing that hadn't occurred to me. But, so after Orihime agrees to heal Ichigo's wounds and Grimmjow's wounds so the two of them can, like, fight to the death fairly, like the extra hours boys they both are, it just didn't occur. Like, it makes total sense now that I think about it. But because Orihime's powers are rejection rather than just, like, straight up healing, like, of course. But Ichigo got, like, the sleeves to his Shihakusho back and stuff. Like, it rejected the destruction of the clothes also. And I was kind of like, oh, I guess your powers would do that, wouldn't they? And it just, like, hadn't occurred to me before.
It's definitely, like, it was a nice touch and a nice attention to detail that Kubo had.
Right? Take that, home handicrafts. Like, nice try.
But yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Orihime, these episodes, last podcast episode, we joked that it was a fight to date Ichigo. Now it's a battle. It's a Orihime custody battle.
Oh, you're so
Okio is
right.
wanting Orihime's back.
You're
Grimmjow
so
wants
right.
Orihime. Ichigo wants an Orihime custody
We
battle.
all know that Aizen wants to keep Orihime. Loli and Manoli probably want Orihime. Everybody freaking wants Orihime, I guess.
Right? I want someone who wants me.
I mean,
like
she's
that.
so powerful, and she's so nice. Like, I get it.
She is.
But also, maybe we should ask her. Nobody ever asks the person who's being fought over.
No. Wait, who do you want to go with?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to
Ichigo.
go to your mom's for the weekend or your other moms for the weekend? That kind of thing. Who cares?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though actually lesbians have the lowest divorce rate of all, like, potential homo and heterosexual couples that are, like, available along binary lines, but nobody asked me that either. So anyway.
That's a fun fact, though. I like that.
Right?
I like that.
Lesbians are great.
My lesbian heart is like, yay! There's hope.
Well, actually, so we'll get to Halibel in a second. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
Oh, that segue was smooth.
Oh, I know. Too bad I jumped the gun a little bit. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there soon. Yeah. So. Another thing, something that I thought was, I guess I want to hear what your interpretation of, and I suppose it is fair to call it a conversation, kind of, between Ichigo and Grimmjow as they're fighting, sort of in the latter third of this episode is like, when Grimmjow asks Ichigo, okay, so why didn't you just attempt to run away with Orihime right away when you had the chance? Like, why are you fighting me now? There's a part of you that wants to fight. This is the path that your instincts showed you. Like, that is actually a really good, insightful question. And you can see Ichigo having that realization too, I think. Like, his eyes get wide and he sort of pauses for a second. He's like, oh shit, like, why am I? So, I don't know. It's maybe the first time that we've seen Ichigo fight maybe for the sake of fighting rather than exclusively to protect someone or save someone or something. But, like, still hard maybe, because it's clear that he's got maybe mixed motivations. He is earnestly trying to help Orihime here, but I don't know. Did you have any thoughts about that conversation? Because I had just never really zeroed in on that before.
Yeah. Unless Ichigo's thinking, like, in front of him is this, is a villain who's probably not going to back down. So even if he had just run away with Orihime, they'd be forever running.
Ooh, that's a good point.
So Ichigo's being smart about it, and he's like, if we're ever going to get out of here alive, we need to defeat this wall in front of us instead of running away from it.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think you are right about that. I do think it's still interesting, though, that even... I wonder whether Ichigo can recognize that that's his actual motive... If, in fact, that is his actual motivation. I wonder if Ichigo can recognize that at this point, and it's just... It's a cool piece of character development, I think, that question was enough to give Ichigo pause in that way.
Yeah.
Grimmjow knew exactly how to get to him, to get him to hesitate like that.
Oh yeah, like, Grimmjow's knowing how to push Ichigo's buttons, and Ichigo's instinctively doing this, but he's not clicked on why he's doing it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's just, like, that's the thing. It's instinct, which... That's a theme here. Like, yeah. And, yeah, I mean, we've got this battle of kings, because we've got...
Oh, totally, yes.
Because we've got that duality. We've got the king Panther himself, but then, Ichigo's inner hollow is always referring to him as king as well. So we've got two kings battling for a throne.
Yeah.
So that's probably instinctual as well. That's where... Because we're going into the next episode now, but I think that's okay, because the
166 is pretty much a continuation of the fight that starts in 165, so I feel like that's fine.
Yeah. Because he's now holding that mask for a while. If you remember back when he was fighting Dordoni, he couldn't hold it for that long, but now suddenly he can.
Yeah, because it's totally, like, that's such a theme that I'm realizing now over the course of this particular part of this arc is people who either haven't been fought by an adversary using their full strength, and so have been able to, like, pick them off like small fries. And so, like, Ichigo has to push himself harder because Grimmjow is a challenging adversary, as opposed to, like, anybody else that he's come up against in the past where he's had to wear his hollow mask, or where he's ended up, whether on purpose or not, wearing his hollow mask. It's like when he was fighting Byakuya, obviously he couldn't control it well enough, so that's kind of like a non-question. But since he's been in Hueco Mundo, nobody else has been intense enough an adversary for Ichigo to, like, need to push and maintain his hollow mask in that way before.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, the reminder that it's been, like, a couple of hours. Like, time is so fake in this arc. It's wild.
It really is wild, and we think, it's hard to believe that it's only just been a couple of hours. And Ichigo's on his fourth fight?
Something like that.
Something like that. He's practically died, but now he's fighting again. And it's poor 15-year-old, can we point out? He's still 15.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. I that thought as well. So when Grimmjow, oh God, where was it? I think because Grimmjow was like so intent on fighting Ichigo, and has been from the second Aizen was like, we have invaders in Las Noches. Grimmjow was like, what? Like instantly. Like he is obsessed with fighting this literal child. Like, yes, the child has rock hard abs, but nobody's like, he's 15.
I did not have that much time at 15. When I was 15, I was studying because we take really big exams when we're 15.
Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Think Harry Potter, we take those kind of exams.
Yeah.
So I was, studying and watching Bleach at midnight. Yeah.
I was not. When I was 15, I still hadn't seen... I don't think I'd seen other than Dragon Ball Z, I hadn't seen, like, anything anime-wise. I came into anime pretty late, actually, like college for me, or university as it, but yeah. Okay. Well, I also think it's just like it's worth noting that Aizen equips his espada with a thing that can like lock other hollows in a closed dimension, either forever if they're not very powerful, or like a couple of hours if they have a spada level spiritual pressure. Well, Kira was clearly not expecting that. Like, he was just like, you're doing what to me, bitch, now? Oh, okay, bye. Like, he'll be back. Of course he'll freaking be back, but...
Like, what kind of punishment is that? Like... solitary confinement
just
for you.
Void. I mean, kinda. Like, that sucks. That sucks.
But I also wonder if the reason why Ulquiorra didn't expect it happening is because we don't know if Ulquiorra actually has any facciones. He doesn't.
No, we don't. That's
like
a good
the
point.
Type of person to have facciones. So he may have never had to use one. Maybe he never got given one.
Yeah. Although, I wonder if it necessarily needs to be for fracciones. I wonder if it could just be for, some petty Priverlona Spada who's getting a little too big for their britches or something.
Or maybe Aizen saw an Ulquiorra invention coming and he just hands it to Grimmjow saying, just use this wherever you see fit.
Oh, wait, maybe. Because it's actually... Okay, actually, can we talk about that sequence where the two of them do exchange blows for just a little bit? Because I thought that was... I mean, whatever. Ichigo versus Grimmjow is an iconic fight. That's lovely. That's cool. I got a lot more out of Grimmjow versus Ulquiorra because they have such different fighting styles. And I guess it's the same reason why last episode I really liked talking about Zyle versus Renji before Uryu came onto the scene, because in that same way, it's one person who is very, like, big punch, smash, go straight forward at them, and somebody who is, like, evasion and cleverness and speed and deflection. So, I don't know, there is something about the stillness in the way that Ulquiorra fights that I think is really, really beautiful to watch. And seeing it animated opposite the constant motion that is Grimmjow, like, it was brief, but I thought it was really lovely.
And you can even draw some parallels to kind of fights that we've seen already. You've got, let's, for example, take Byakuya versus Renji.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because you've got the Renji hot-headed going all in, but then you've got the beautiful way Byakuya moves around. He's very symbolistic with his sakura blossoms, and he's kind of got that same kind of way of fighting that Ulquiorra has, and those are the two kind of correlations we can make.
Yeah. Ganju versus Yumachika? Nope, didn't think so. Sorry. like smashy people against pretty people now, and that's not helping. Not that Grimmjow's not pretty, lest anyone think that I don't think Grimmjow is pretty. He's just not my type. It's even like if you were to see like Ichigo versus Uryu would be a fight like that, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so, speaking of special moves, powers, little tricks up people's sleeves, we get this Grand Ray Sero, which is a technique that only Espada are allowed to use.
Yeah, which that phrasing is super specific, by the way.
Very specific. But then you've got this power that only Espada are allowed to use, but they're not allowed to use it within within Las Noches.
Yeah.
Which, what's also interesting is the Viz translation that we got for Grand Ray Sero.
Oh, I know where this is going. Yeah.
Hollow King's Lightning. So we've kind of got that king connotation as well.
Damn right. Yep. And so for listeners who, like, I don't know if anybody is maybe just watching the dub straight up, or like I don't know how it's translated in various places, but it's Ray like R-E-Y in English, so the Latin like the whole like Rex Regis whatever, instead of Ray like a ray of sun. So it is that king word. The Ray part is the king part there.
Yeah. And when, as like a normal Sero, when we got the translation for that in Viz Media, we just got Doom Blast. So, you know.
Oh. I mean, sure. That seems fine. Doom Blast.
Doom Blast. I'm pretty sure it's that.
That's so funny to me. Yeah, I'm seeing a couple. So, Grand King Zero,
Doom Blast,
Royal Hollow Flash, Hollow King's Lightning. There are a few. It's also trying to do like Japanese into Spanish into English with both kanji and kana and translation. Like, it's gonna be a little bit loose, and it's never gonna be perfect.
The fact that Kubo has done this and what he does in the future, even if it is a little bit wonky, it's still majorly impressive.
I think it's so cool, actually. Yes, I agree.
It is so good. Like, I am just astounded. Like, I took French in high school. Could I remember it now? No. But he's managed to combine two different languages. Some of them aren't even probably that popular in Japan. Yet he's combined them and created and managed to find words that it's just amazing.
They work.
They just work. Yeah.
Yeah, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He truly is an artist. Like, I know that. I guess it's always seemed to me that the multiverse of Bleach was built softly, like in a soft world building sense, which is to say, I imagine Kubo had some specific ideas about the way that it functioned and the way that the various locales within that world worked together, Soul Society, Hell, the world of the living, etc. But I kind of get the sense that as he went along, he just kind of injected new elements that he thought were cool as he went. I feel like it was a mix of deliberate planning and then like picking up neat details that he thought was interesting as he went along. This is more speculation than anything. I can't really verify that, but that's kind of the vibe I get. But it's like, it's clear that he likes words and language and like having to come up with so many names for characters and release commands and the names of Zanpakuto and Resurrection and all of this stuff. Like, it's, you know, I feel like I can feel the love in it, you know? Like, all of this was done because he cared about this world and these characters and these powers and was, like, injecting a little bit of himself into it along the way, no matter where he went, because it was that special. I don't know. Maybe that's one of the things that separates Bleach from a lot of other anime and manga for me, is, like, I really feel like I just feel a lot of love in it from the creator.
Yeah, he's definitely got that care and attention to detail, and just he takes so much pride in it. And I mean, he loves it. Have you seen the cosplays of him?
He's cosplayed as Mayuri. Like, that takes commitment.
It is amazing. And okay, he is a mad genius because of this series.
So apropos. Yeah, for real, he is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Props
Kubo,
to Kubo. This is
you're definitely not. Like, we love you.
Kubo appreciation.
You
5 minutes.
literally changed my life. You know what you did. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of all I really wanted to touch on for episode 165. And then 166 picks up so naturally from the end of 165, I feel.
It does, yeah. So I can just go straight into the manga anime differences then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So the 3 chapters used in 166 are 281, the Vulgarian Noise. That's Vulgarian, as in vulgar, not Falcon from Star Trek. Just wanted to
fair enough.
Difference.
Yep.
We've got 282, the Primal Fear, and 283, You Don't Hurt Anymore. So we've got...
I was totally... Did you mean Star Wars, like Millennium Falcon? I'm so sorry. I don't want to be that guy.
No, Star Trek, Vulcan, as in...
Oh, Vulcan!
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
Vulgarian, yeah.
Yes, heard. Sorry. Carry on.
No, because I said star, and then I was like, get it right, Nomi, get it right.
And I just heard the wrong word initially. Okay, I'm with you now.
Okay. So in manga anime differences, we've got manga Orihime says Ichigo's name during the heartbeats. So, you know, we've got that whole cool kind of ba-doom, 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 and we actually hear the heartbeats. The manga, she actually says Ichigo's name.
Oh, man!
Yeah. We've got manga Ichigo doesn't speak when he protects Orihime in now. So this may seem like a small difference, but it builds up over time because of the fact that we've got this whole implication that Ichigo is holding back because he thinks Orihime is scared of him.
Yeah, totally.
So when Orihime shouts and cheers him on, that gives him the strength to be able to block Grimmjow.
Mm-hmm.
So the manga, Ichigo already realizes that he's scaring Orihime, so that's why he doesn't say anything. That's when he protects them, he just kind of goes back to the fight. Whereas in the anime, he speaks, and that's when he realizes that he's scaring him. So he's a lot more in tune in the manga.
Cool. Ooh, I like that for him. I like that much better for him.
Yeah. We've got some Orihime flashbacks with Sora. All we see in the manga is basically just a small, tiny panel of Sora's face, implicating the connotations that the correlation that she's joining.
That's fine. I feel like that's all you need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't need a flashback to the first season.
It's like they were buying time.
Yeah. And then another character design difference. We've already spoken a little bit about Halibel's character design.
Yeah.
In the manga, to fully kind of not bring it home, but highlight the character design differences between the anime and the manga. In the manga, Halibel is darker than Mila Rose.
Oh, no way!
Mm-hmm.
Wow! Oh, that is fascinating.
Yep. So if you... Let me just...
I wonder what that coloration choice was on the part of the animation team. That is so odd.
There we go. And it is. It's when you see this, you will definitely see.
Oh my
it's
goodness!
Almost as if they've switched them in the anime.
That is so strange to me.
There we go.
I'm sort of curious. So I'll see. I don't have anything on it right now, but I mean, we're certainly going to see more of. I mean, presumably we're going to see more of Halibel over the course of the next couple of arcs. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is fascinating. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna see if I can learn a little bit more about how some of those coloration decisions were made, because it's just really unusual to me, because it seems to me that the way that she's colored in the manga is like, so yes, her hair is light in color, but people of color can have light colored hair. Like, we also don't know what color her hair is in the manga at this point. It could be white, it could be gray, it may not be blonde, right?
Right.
So, and also, like, Grimmjow has blue hair. I feel like, let's assume that Halibel is supposed to be black. She can have whatever hair color she wants. Like, it could be light purple, it could be green. Who cares? But yeah, I'm super, oh wow. I'm gonna see if I can learn a little bit more about the coloration choices on the part of the animation team here, because that is just such, it is, I would not have made that choice. I would not have made the choice to color her that way in animated form had I been the head of production design. I was not.
Yeah.
Curious. Wow. Because I also feel like in the anime, Mila Rose is very clearly a person of color. Like, that is, I feel like that's pretty much undeniable. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. Maybe they did it based on the hair color, because of course Mila Rose has got darker hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they did.
Mila Rose, Sung-sun, and Emilu all have dark hair. I don't know, man. Oh, fascinating. Okay, well, that's a question we're going to table. Stay tuned, listeners. I'll see what I can dig up, if anything. Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I had. I saved that one for last, because it was the big one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But while we're on these four, should we continue?
Yeah, no, please. I was gonna say, I know you like them, so I'm curious to hear if you have anything to say about them.
I mean, I just have a soft spot for any and all female characters.
That's super fair. Speaking of lesbians, now we're here. I'm not necessarily saying that they're like all in a harem together, or even that they all identify as lesbians, or even that they all identify as women necessarily. But
I mean, this is this totally Halibel and her harem. It's fine.
I mean,
yeah,
it's like honestly good for her.
I know. I love it. It's like a whole female team. And yes. I just love the fact that they all said their names whilst they were speaking. Right. Just so we knew Convenient. Who each one is.
Yeah.
So we've got Apache is the one with the short bob blue hair. We've got Mila Rose with the long brown hair. And we've got Sun with the long sleeves and the green hair. And they're all teasing each other in a very kind of... It tells you a lot about their relationship, because
it's very sibling-like. I feel
it is very
sibling bickering energy.
Exactly, and they all look up to Halibel because they automatically stop fighting when Halibel starts talking. They give her that command of respect. So yeah, definitely they look up to Halibel, and they've got that huge, big sibling energy.
Yeah,
and I just think it's adorable.
And I love too. The way that the voice actors, I think that all four of them were incredibly well cast. I will also say one of my favorite things, not that Halibel spoke much, which is like also I feel actually kind of a signifier of her power. So you have an espada like Grimmjow who just shouts about his power all the time, and he's mostly loud. He is voiced by Junichi Sawabe, so like obviously he gets bonus points for that no matter what. But in the case of Halibel, it's like that Clint Eastwood thing, which, not that I'm like the world's biggest fan of Clint Eastwood, or like the Miranda Priestley thing, TBH, where like you don't have to raise your voice. You say something, and you mean it, and everybody listens, because they know that you are the final authority in that room. Like it's very that. So it's a cool way to flex power, and
it's very much commanding respect by presence.
And we haven't seen that from any of the Espada so far, really.
No, yeah, and the way Halibel does that as well, you can tell that she cares for her facciones. They're not just three people who work underneath her. she cares for them as well, and she respects them, and that's why she's got that whole, she commands their respect just by her presence, and they've built that trust up.
Yes.
Whereas others, we've seen them having to yell and everything, so they can definitely see the differences in dynamics of their relationships and their working relationships as well.
Yeah, which, not to jump too far ahead, and I'm sure we're going to talk more about this later, but, like, given the context that we get from episode 167 about at least one of the ways that partially evolved hollows can come to, like, rally around a leader or a more powerful hollow, it makes sense. Like, Halibel is clearly more powerful than Mila Rose, Sungsun, and I usually call her Emilu. I don't know. Anyway, Emilu Apache is her full name. That's so Apache, yeah. Emilu, whatever. The three of them, and they clearly, like, they need her. They respect her, and they do have that. Like, I would be willing to bet that none of them individually would be where they are without each other and without Halibel, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And you can even kind of make the connection between that and, say, the 13th Division. Because you can bet that Ukitake would never...
Sorry!
You can...
No, I'm not. I'm not sorry for that.
I chose 13th for a reason, yeah. You can bet that Ukitake is never going to raise his voice to anyone. And also, Keone and Sentaro, they're there, they got each other, and they've got Ukitake.
Oh,
and you've got that same kind of connections as well.
Oh, you're so right about that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Too long didn't read, Halibel would make a great captain, and she's got 3 lieutenants.
Ooh! Honestly, I don't hate that. I don't hate that one bit.
Yep.
Well, you never know. Anything could happen.
You never know. Okay, so Halibel says something interesting.
Oh, yes?
She says that the fight of, and I've written it in my notes as Grimmjow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It really is.
It's very that.
Yeah. To 2 Espada fighting.
Yeah.
Which means that she's sensing Ichigo in holification form, in his Bankai, at the same level as an Espada.
Yeah.
And we've already spoken about the power and everything, how he's now holding on to his hollow mask for an insane amount of time. He went Bankai last episode without even saying Bankai.
Yeah, right? I know. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh.
And that's the second time that's happened. So he's now up there. So, you know, that little bit that Halibel is giving us that little bit of hope that, you know what? Maybe he can defeat Aizen. Because that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? It's to get Orihime back. It's to stop whatever Aizen's doing.
Oh, man.
Halibel's
I don't know that anybody has actually stated any goals surrounding defeating Aizen necessarily. Have they? Up to now, I think it's largely been about getting Orihime back, and that's kind of where people have left it. I mean, it's clear that Aizen is a big ol' villain, like, clearly. Except, I don't know, because the point of contention that I would raise there is that the vast majority, if not all, of the Espada that we've encountered call Aizen Lord Aizen. Like, there is a level of acknowledgement that they are somehow beneath him. Whether that's to do with power level or hierarchy or both is maybe unclear.
Yeah.
But Ichigo is clearly leveling up real fast. So
he really is.
If the goal is to defeat Aizen, then there might be more hope there than there was previously. But once again, like,
what about
maybe that is
people
the goal,
in the
maybe
Soul
that
Society?
Isn't, except I guess they are preparing for a whole war, huh? So there is that. But
yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose they do want to stop Aizen, don't they? I don't know that Aizen particularly is, like, looking to clash with a bunch of Shinigami. I imagine that Aizen probably just, like, wants to achieve his plan and get that part over and done with, but he probably anticipates that there'll be resistance, which is why he's got Ten Espada and their Fracciones at his beck and call now.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah. Okay. And, you know what? You're right. I think it's pretty much, it's been fairly clearly stated that Soul Society is going to try and stop Aizen's machinations, whatever they may be.
Yeah.
Filling the unbearable vacancy in the throne in the sky, whatever. Exactly.
And whatever Yamamoto's planning, Ichigo has a role in that plan. Ichigo just doesn't know it yet.
I hate Yamamoto so much. He's such a shithead. He just uses people all the time. Like, sir... go back. It's like, you know that meme that's like, okay, grandma, we'll get you back to bed. Yamamoto, do you know this meme?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm gonna find this meme and I'm gonna send it to you. Hang on. Okay, grandma meme.
I feel like I am a grandma sometimes when it comes to memes, because I don't understand half of them.
Honestly, there's something to that. Like, I could... yep. It's kind of like if ever somebody says something that is out of left field or like kind of off. So this is, I guess, here. So it's like you say something that's like not with it. So there's a grandma and then there's a young person and the grandma says something like, this is my perspective on something and it's completely incorrect, and then there's a younger person helping the grandma who was like using a mobility aid, kind of like putting their hand on the grandma's shoulder that says, all right, grandma, let's get you to bed, and that part is consistent throughout the meme. So I imagine like it's Yamamoto like I'm so excited to be the most powerful person in the universe and never deal with Aizen ever again after this. And then I imagine just the young person on their show. It's probably like Kyoraku or something. Like,
yeah.
Right, Yamamoto, let's get you to bed. Yeah.
Oh, right, Yama-jii. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Yama-jii, let's get you to bed. Oh, I love that. I need to make this now. I'm realizing. Oh, man. God, I just think Yamamoto... You know that thing where sometimes leaders have bad ratings and so they just go to war to boost their ratings? I just feel like Yamamoto is a bit that.
He's been doing this for what? How long? 2,000 years? He's bored.
Oh, more than 2,000 years. 2,000 years is about how old Ukitake and Kyoraku are, and they're the first academy graduates, and so I imagine... Yamamoto is like multiple centuries older than that even, which is...
Yeah. So.
Which is because he's one of the few people that actually looks old. Like, Ukitake is 2,000 and your skin looks like that, sir. Right? Yeah. No, you don't start showing your age until you're, like, mad old in Soul Society for the most part. Or if you've just, like, gotten the short end of a stick somewhere. I don't know. Ginrei Kuchiki Humst, I don't know how old he is. Yep.
Plot twist, Yamamoto is actually Benjamin Button and he's just going to keep getting younger.
Oh, God, I hate that so much! Oh, no! Oh. Well, anyway. Yeah, I feel like most of this episode was just like, and they fight, which is lovely to watch.
Yeah, actually, you know what? These fights... The music as well that added to this fight.
I was about to say!
Like, I was captivated watching these fights. And I was it was just the way it was presented to us. It was so different than before. Because there wasn't a lot of fighting. There wasn't a lot of mansplaining each other's powers.
Ugh, yeah.
It was just...
Yeah, you know what? We've seen most of these techniques before, so it wasn't necessary. They could just be like, let's animate some dope shit.
Yeah. And it wasn't that fillered either.
No.
They had flashbacks for that.
Yeah, honestly, I should have guessed. I thought we learned so much good stuff there. I actually really enjoyed that. Oh, well.
No, the Grimmjow flashback's fine.
Oh, thank God. Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay,
that's fine.
Okay. Don't scare me like that.
No, the Grimmjow one is fine. Maybe others in the future that may not be, but the Grimmjow one is fine.
Okay, fair enough.
But it was the Orihime's flashbacks that kind of create the filler for them.
Oh, yeah. I think I could tell anyway, like the nature, the way that it was just dwelt on for so long that I was like, yes, I imagine she does think about her brother in this situation. That makes complete sense. Somebody that she knows and cares for is now wearing a hollow mask. That's gonna invoke some unpleasant feelings. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think it needed to be like 5 minutes of reflection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was the kind of, you're looking at Ichigo, who you love and want to be with forever, but you're looking at him, he reminds you of your brother, so are you thinking of Ichigo like a brother? Because no. No.
I suppose, I don't know. I guess it's that thing of like, you're like, not saying, by the way, that Orihime and Ichigo are dating, but like, if you're dating someone and then that person does something that kind of reminds you of like one of your parents or something, like, you're bound to have a reaction that mirrors the reaction that you had when you were a child, or like, I don't know. I guess it doesn't have to necessarily imply that those relationships are actually the same. I don't know. Like, without making fun of this, I want to be super clear. Like, if that's genuinely triggering to Orihime, that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Seeing your brother turn into a hollow has got to be, like, a genuinely traumatic event. That's intense.
For sure, yeah. And then watching him die all over again.
Oh, God. Yeah, good point.
And we already know what Orihime went through in her past. So, this is someone who basically saved her as a child.
I almost wonder now. Orihime's had a really rough life, and she's experienced some genuinely traumatic things, and one of the hallmarks of like coping with trauma is blocking specific things from your memory, and like a lot of the time it's as if those things didn't even happen because you don't have access to those memories anymore, like as a self-protection mechanism. I almost wonder if that's why she has rejection powers in the first place. Like, has she experienced so much genuine trauma that she now, almost as like an expanded coping mechanism, has the power to genuinely reject traumatic things from actual existence? Like, is that where that maybe comes from?
Maybe. I mean, it's totally a present.
We're never gonna get an answer, like, fucking.
We're never, but
it's never
that's what
occurred to me to
headcanon
think
and
about
fan
it that way before.
fiction's for.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well. Yeah. I circling back to your earlier point, I do have a whole note that just says, okay, this sick guitar riff, though, TBH. So I was clearly also vibing with the music. I didn't have too many notes for this episode. Like you, I was mostly just kind of riveted and enjoying watching the fight.
Yeah. I've just put Grimmjow's resurrection, ! I'll get hyped on behalf of all of the Grimmjow fans out there. You guys finally get your moment. Yeah.
I actually think he looks cooler when he's not in his resurrection.
Agreed.
But, I mean, I don't know.
But, yeah.
Sure. I'm not mad at it. I like his shorter hair, and I like being able to see his abs. I'm shallow as fuck. Sue me. Well.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
167?
Like that's probably, I think so. I think that's our signal to move on to 167. Good fight, 166. Thank you. Next. Thanks.
So this 167 takes manga chapters 284. Historia del Pantera y sus Sombras, which is, pardon my Spanish accent, but it's history of the Panther King and his shadow. We've got 285, Devour the Flesh Alone, and 286, Guillotine You Standing. Or Guillotine, I went French. Guillotine You Standing. But it's only pages 1 through 9 of Guillotine You Standing, and there's a reason for that. So the only manga anime difference I had is the ending of this episode.
Ooh. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The manga didn't have to cut to a filler arc.
Yep. So the anime did a really good job of cutting to this filler arc. They had a cute little moment of Ichigo and Orihime holding hands. They had the really soft music. It was really pretty, but in reality, that didn't happen.
Aw, boo.
Yeah, there's still 9
honestly,
pages left.
Yay, that was too neat and tidy. What am I saying?
But I mean, the anime knew it was coming up, so they did well with what they had.
Sure.
And then, yeah, we'll come back to it.
Oh yeah, because I suppose
we'll find out what really happened.
What actually happened? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, great. Okay.
We'll let them have their moment of just standing almost as the sun is setting with their
but it
child.
Wouldn't do that. Not in Window. Also, the sun's not real. The sun is not real.
It's just Aizen missing the sunshine of the Soul Society.
Ugh. Yeah. But he stays inside all the time. We haven't seen him out. We've seen him at the big table. We've seen him on his little throne.
He's not the one to be going out sunbathing, is he?
I guess not. Oh, can you imagine if he were in the beach episode, though? It's not even a spoiler to say, who cares? The beach episode is basically not canon. It's alluded to, but it's also, it doesn't impact the plot.
It does not. When does it even happen?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was about to say, well, but no, they didn't do the beach. Aizen just sends everybody on a cruise ship in Bleach Brave Souls.
Oh, goodness.
So we get Halibel on a cruise ship.
Have you seen Emilu's swimsuit and the way that it's kind of tomboyish?
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
So cute. There's a theme with the swimsuits, to be fair. Depending on how the body is presented, is depiction of whether they get revealing swimsuits or tomboyish swimsuits.
Kubo does a really, I guess I don't know, I'm assuming he's consulting on the character designs for Bleach Brave Souls, probably. I know he's involved.
For the big ones, the Can't For Your Own World and this Spirits of Forever With You stuff, but for the mini ones, the random filler episodes, the fan fiction episodes
there's not
that they get.
a team of artists working on it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm happy to accept those designs as canon. They're just lovely. They're so lovely.
They are. Yeah. But back on the episode, because
anybody who has any power over this is listening. You've got about a little bit more than a month until it's White Day, and I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. You've got about a month to make me happy this year. Oh,
Ikitaki White Day. That's all they'll want. Thank you very much.
It's literally all I want. It's not all I want, but it would be nice. Yeah, okay, so the thing that I mostly want to talk about in 167, so I will say, I thought the end to this fight was pretty cool. I thought it was cool that, Ichigo and Grimmjow had, a bit of an actual heart-to-heart. There was that moment when Ichigo was oh, why you mad, bro? Is it because I'm a human and I'm treating you like an equal? Which, as Halibel observed in the previous episode, fair enough, he actually is kind of on equal footing. And then Grimmjow's nah, bro, I will crush anyone who treats me like a fool. That shows a level of self-awareness that I thought was pretty neat. I know I mostly want to talk about Hollow evolution and Grimmjow's backstory.
Yes.
Okay, all right. If you're cool, then we'll just kind of soldier on ahead with that.
Yeah.
Because, oh boy, did we get a lot of information here, and I think it is useful. I think it, helps us have context for a lot of the other Espada and Arancars. We learn so much about how these creatures come to be in the way that they are. Okay, so we know that Hollows eat souls. That's a thing we just have known for a minute now. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm just gonna summarize it real quick because I think it's important and I don't want it to get lost, especially as we start to examine some of the Espada a little bit more closely in upcoming arcs and fights and such. I think the context is really, really helpful. So hollows eat souls. Hollows are hungry creatures by nature, because they themselves don't have their hearts. And by the way, that's that same kokoro word that we talked about with Rukia and Kaien. The sub anyway said that hollows have lost their hearts. That's what that void is. And it's like that whole entire concept of like soul, mind, heart, being, whatever. So they're like super, super hungry or seeking to fill that void. That's why they eat other souls. And then sometimes hollows are super hungry and like super duper lonely and sad, I guess. And like desperately, desperately need to fill that void. So those hollows who are like super hungry actually eat other hollows, not just humans. As we've seen when Aranjiro was talking about like his devouring Metastasia among other hollows, for example. So these hollows start eating other hollows, and because hollows are all like former souls, those souls like have identity and have senses of self, but when there are so many of them all kind of squished together inside one physical being, those senses of self start to get entangled, and they become sort of that sense of like one singular self is lost if you're not a particularly strong or assertive hollow, and a bigger, more powerful hollow eats you. Eventually enough souls come together, they become Gillions. Gillions have big spiritual pressure, but in rare cases, if one of the hollows that was eaten has a super strong sense of self, that Gillion then will eat other Gillions, and it will continue to evolve. It's like assertive enough and self-aware-ish enough that eventually it can become an adhuchas, which is what Grimmjow was when he looked like a straight-up panther. And we don't really know very much about evolution after that, except that Vasto Lorde is probably the step that comes after that, because that was what Xiaolong said he and his buddies wanted to become. And that's why they were interested in, like, eating more hollows together so that they could eventually, on their own, evolve and become Vasto Lordes, which I guess also requires, like, a strong power that draws them together. So, that's a little bit more about, like, higher-tier hollow evolution, which I love the world-building stuff, so wanted to highlight all of that.
Yeah, I know, it was really cool just to see kind of, like, the pecking order and just the journey they have to go through.
Oh, and I know, it's so intense.
It is.
It's hollow out there.
It really is. But then you've got here was my question, because you had Grimmjow, you got his friends. The anime added 2 extras just so Grimmjow could eat them and destroy them.
Oh.
those 2 extras.
Like, other than like Ilford and the ones who didn't get names, and oh god, who else even is there?
There was Xiaolong, Devour, Nakim, Ilfort, and that's it. Wait, there were 4 or 5. Xiaolong,
like
Devour, Ilfort, Nakim. Oh, it's the dude. It's Edrad. No, not Edrad.
Thank you. Yep, I was like, I know we're missing one. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, Edrad. So it's them 5, but the anime had 7, and Grimmjow ate 2 of them.
Oh, rip.
But those 5, and you can see, even if they were in their Aduhas form, you could see that they were very similar to their resurrections when they were fighting. We never saw Nakim's. Nakim, if you don't remember, is the one who was fighting Rangiku. It's easy to forget. Yeah. Everyone forgets Nakim. And it would have been interesting that if he'd
have... We forgot Edrad last time, so...
Yeah, it's true.
So...
I only know Nakim because I've written his name here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because he looks like a Menos Grande. Would he, if he had gone Resurrection, would he just been a Menos Grande?
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, but my question was, it's implied at the end of the flashback that Grimmjow eats them so he can, I don't know, finally achieve Vasta Lordes or finally get what he needs to be. But if he ate them, how did he come back? Because they're obviously still...
I didn't interpret it that way. I didn't think he ate them.
Ah, interesting. Hang on a sec. Let me... 284. Hang on a sec. Oh, I went the wrong way.
I got the sense that they were like kind of standing around together like, what do we do now?
Yeah.
But I might have missed a detail there. I don't think. Let's find out.
You are that power. Let's walk together. You will become our king, Grimmjow. Oh, wait. And then it went back to this. Then do we have more flashback? Question mark? Am I just... here we go. Found it. Consumers first. If even a portion of our bodies is consumed by a hollow, our evolution stops. Devour can never become a vassal lord. Now we know that
Right.
because his mask got bitten off. Our evolution end here. Grimmjow says cowards. And then it's got...
Yeah, so I don't think he actually does it, is I think...
In the manga, you've got
Oh.
all of the... Oh, they're all standing on one side. Xiaolong says, from the moment we become hollows, we're destined to become a Juhas, but you were meant for something greater. Eat us, Grimmjow. And then you just see a shadow of Grimmjow on his own, and then Grimmjaw's hand coming out. But it's the way it's faded, it's almost as if it's mirroring what's happening in the present, because it's his hand coming down.
Yeah, you know?
So,
That's so confusing to me.
It really is.
Oh, okay. So then maybe,
Here, I've posted it so you can see what I mean by the two different colours of the... How, because black border usually means flashback.
Right.
So then it fades to white in the last panel, symbolising that it's probably mirroring.
Gotcha. Okay, so, okay. You know what I'm thinking this means then? And like we'll table this and probably unpack it a little bit later. So maybe under normal circumstances, that's where evolution would stop. Because the thing that we know, so D-Roy, for example, like Grimmjow already took a bite out of D-Roy, right? Like previously.
Yeah. And
we know that D-Roy becomes a humanoid-ish fraction because we've seen him fighting, R.I.P. So I think that just probably tells us that like under normal circumstances, evolution stops there and in that way. And if you throw a wrench into the usual course of action, maybe other things are possible. I think
like a wrench called Eisen with promises.
With
maybe.
Promises and with shiny objects.
Tea!
yeah.
Tea!
Yeah.
Because we know Eisen makes promises that he may or may not be able to keep. But, yeah.
But that's true. Like, we know that Eisen got involved, and we also know for sure that these 5 individuals evolved into humanoid fractiones. So, like, between the end of this flashback and the fight that we saw in Karakura Town, something happened. We maybe don't know what, but we know something happened.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, it's very...
It's
very
weird.
Interesting.
It's weird. What we're learning is that it's fucking weird, and it, like, whatever it is, it might be kind of unnatural.
Yeah.
Huh. So, yeah. What was your take on Grimmjow's Desgaron technique, if anything?
A rendering claw of the Panther King.
Yeah, that one. God, these names are so extra!
A Desgaron rendering claw of the Panther King. They've all got something, haven't they?
Yeah, they really do.
Like, they've all got their Seros and apparently a Grand Ray Sero, but they've all got something that's unique to them.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And he's got his Desgaron. There we go.
Intense claw. I don't know. I was a little bit underwhelmed, is I suppose why I asked that question. I just didn't think it was very, like, all of this build up and, like, this is my strongest technique. Like, alright, bruh. I thought it was kind of basic.
Especially when you compare it to the previous number 6. Like, we've had 2
Oh
Espadas.
My god, I didn't even think about, oh, my son. Oh, I miss you.
Yeah. We've got Loopy and his technique, and then you've got
Grimmjow, why can't you become an octopus?
Right, he's just got he's having a cat fight.
Oh.
With the oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait,
wow.
If Grimmjow and Loopy fought each other, because Grimmjow is a cat and Loopy is an octopus, could that justifiably be called a pussy fight? You don't have to answer that question.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was a good one.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Oh god, I couldn't hear you for a couple of seconds and I was like, oh no, that was over the line. I don't usually do jokes like that.
No. I've just been cackling. It's fine.
Oh, thank god. Okay, alright. Oh, you scared me. I scared myself.
Okay. So, anyway, on a much seriouser note than pussycats and octopuses, we've spoken a lot this episode about how much Ichigo has improved over the course of a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Can we shout out the fact that Orihime still has her shield up?
Right?
And is still standing
she
there?
Put that up a bit ago.
She did, and she's...
Ichigo asked that of her knowing that she could do it, I bet. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not as if she's focused. And she's not even focused on the shield. Her mind is elsewhere. She is conflicted. She is troubled. She's having a big internal monologue with herself. And yet, it's still up there. So, hats off to Orihime.
Yeah.
Just,
you've
got the power. Just, can you use it for something other than pining?
Yes.
I love you, Orihime, but yes.
Yeah. I love manga Orihime. Yeah, Orihime's so good.
Yeah.
Because, it's another instance of, she probably hasn't been pushed to her extreme limits either. We saw her powers evolve a lot, back when Tatsuki was in trouble, a million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of now again when the stakes are high. So I guess it's, Bleach does, I think across the board, a really good job of having characters, power scaling in a way that makes sense, because characters tend to improve when the circumstances mean that if they don't improve, something really bad happens.
Yeah.
I sort of wonder how long the shield would have held had Orihime been protecting only herself. But once there's, a little kid involved also, if she's yes, I have to protect the people around me, so of course I'm going to keep the shield up.
Yeah, definitely. There's some other stake in there.
Right.
Ichigo asked it of her.
Right.
But there's Nell to factor in as well.
Right, yeah. Oh,
yeah. No. But, yeah, other than those, I have nothing else other than some fun facts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good, because I think I'm looking, I'm yeah, I guess TBD how Grimmjow's doing after all of this. Is he dead? Is he not? I guess stay tuned to find out, but it was a cool fight, and I liked watching it, and, that's sort of what I've got for this episode. Yep. Yeah, so if you have fun facts, yes, please.
Yeah. So this is the end of another volume.
Oh, boy!
Yay!
I love this game.
So, after 278, which was Heal for the Crash, and before Jugulators starts, we had the end of Volume 31 and the start of Volume 32. And here's how we're going to play it this week. I'm going to tell you the poem, and from the poem, you're going to guess who it is.
Oh, okay. So you're giving me a hint, effectively, which I'm not mad at, by the way, because my shot in the dark guesses have not been great historically.
I mean, if you want to do a shot in the dark guess, you could probably get it.
No. I'd rather hear the poem. I want to give myself an advantage.
Okay,
I'm still gonna fuck it up, I bet. But
the poem is: The king runs, shaking off his shadows, his armor clanking, scattering bones, tasting flesh and blood, crushing groaning hearts, stepping in alone to a distant beyond.
That feels like it should be Grimmjow to me.
It is.
Oh, thank God. I had a couple of backup guesses, but they made marginally less sense. Oh, yay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good.
Yeah, this is volume 32, Howling, with Grimmjow on the cover.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Howl being Renji's release command for Zabimaru as well. Fun fact.
Right, and not something a cat does.
No, well, except that he actually literally does in one of these episodes.
He does.
Howls when he becomes an Edhujas.
He does, and that would be
Panther
the
form. Yeah.
That's
167.
The
that happens
Vulgarian, the Vulgarian Noise is his howling.
I suppose there you go.
There we go. But yeah.
Talk about unnatural evolution. Cats don't howl. Actually, sometimes they do.
Oh, they do when you accidentally step on their foot.
Have you ever seen that video of those Siamese cats who are like annoyed that the person who owns them is taking a shower?
Oh, yeah.
Siamese cats are so loud.
So, I just Googled Vulgarian.
Ooh.
And it's an unrefined person, especially one with a newly acquired power or wealth.
Whoa! That's perfect!
It is! Oh my gosh. Although, calling Grimmjow unrefined is both apt, but also kind of offensive. But yeah,
I suppose
that's pure genius.
Wow. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm just like browsing my favorite etymology website. Yeah, it seems moderately classist origins, which shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. But anyway, well, great. Well,
yeah.
Great.
But speaking of nicknames, because we went from Vulgarian to Yachiro's nicknames.
Oh
my gosh! Did you see the Amaki at the end with?
Wait, I think mine was different. I didn't. Well, it reminded me because I watched them all. I always watch them.
Yeah. So at end of episode 166, Yachiro's like, "No fear, I took all the pictures for you," and she's got all the pictures of all the different captains through Kenny's hair.
Oh yes.
And her nicknames for all the different people are adorable. She's got Old Man Ji-chan for Yamamoto.
So
She's got
like,
Hon
no one else
Hon.
can get away with that.
I know. She's got Hon Hon for Yoichi or Soifon. We're not sure who it was, but it's Hon Hon. Hon. And the only thing I could think of is like Hon Hon, you know. When that's the only thing. So if it's Yoichi, it would fit.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. We've got Izurun for Izuru.
My God.
Rechan. Rechan for Unohana.
Probably Oh, yeah, Rechan for sure, because her name is Retsu.
Yeah. Bayaki for Byakura.
Yes, I know! I love it so much!
That one's so good. Shun for Kyoraku.
Yeah.
Kenny is obviously Kenny. We've got Mayorin for Mayori. And the one that just makes me crack up is Komamura and Bow Wow.
I know! It's so good! Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it's so just good. Plain up Doggy in the dub.
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't. I
think that one sounds. I think that one sounds familiar. It's that she just calls him Doggy.
Bow Wow is a better option.
Bow Wow is adorable.
Bow Wow's really cute.
It's so really cute. So
if we've moved on to Amaka, by the way, can we talk about the one where Rangiku is taking photos of Kira and Hisagi, and how oh my God, no, Kira is about it, and how
how
gay
Hisagi
is
was
about it, like the difference in those energies. Oh, and it's a little window into that relationship. I love that friendship so much.
And it just descended into chaos, which you could probably assume was practically every single night that those three are out, everything starts off nice and civilized, but then descends into chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. I like when they agree to go out together, you know that they know where that's going. Like, how could you not?
For sure.
Oh my god.
For sure.
Oh,
it's their way of
bullshit.
coping.
I love it so much. It literally is. Which, like, is it the healthiest way to cope? Nope. No
Probably not, no.
But, you know, all three of those sweet people have seen some shit.
But until the Soul Society gets a licensed therapist, that's the only therapy they've got.
Honestly, it's bullshit that they don't have one. I've never really thought about that. Because what, Yamamoto's gonna prioritize mental health? Abso-fucking-lutely not. If there's ever a different head captain, I wonder if they'll prioritize mental health instead of turning to things like alcohol. Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Well, the world may never know. I guess,
But yeah, that's all my fun facts.
Yeah, that's it for me for the episodes as well. Well, heck, I guess, it's time to turn to the Shinigami Cup of Sake. Shinigami Cup. Peroxide edition. Naomi, who wore it best this week?
Okay, so I apologize in advance for this one. But by who wore it best is Ichigo wearing Sora's face.
Ooh, I like that.
Yep.
Mine this week, we return ever so briefly to the Omake, and it had to be Izuru and Hisagi in the little Fundoshi moment.
In the Fundoshi.
Because, like, we haven't really seen anyone in their, like, straight-up underwear ever, and it's just a lovely little... And they're just... I also just like that whole thing, but I don't know. Watch the Omake. If you're not, you're missing out. And, yep. It was silly. Like, also, point of clarification, like, yes, they're in their underwear. It's, like, not actually sexy. It's just very... I don't know. Maybe it's sexy to somebody. It's silly. But first and foremost, it is silly. I feel.
Yeah.
But
you can bet it's not the first time.
And if you've ever wondered what, like, super traditional underwear looks like, then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely an homage to... It was a nice little nod to the traditional garb and outfits that they wore in those times. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
All right. Best ship this week.
We've mentioned them before, and I'll mention them again, but it is Halibel and her harem.
Yeah! Fuck yeah! Honorary mention to Halibel and their harem, and her harem, because it's just that good. But I chose to go sweet this week.
Oh.
Relationship between older sister Orihime and younger sister Nell, as Orihime's kind of comforting her, patting her head, making sure she feels okay. It was very nice.
It's so cute.
Yeah. All right, fandom shout out this week.
So, tomorrow, the 11th of February, 2022, I don't know why I put the year there, but the 11th of February is the lovely Soifon's birthday. So, my fandom shout out this week is this amazing cosplay. That did not work at all. Did it work? It did not work.
You took me to twitter.com.
Okay, hang a sec. I still have it here.
Okay.
Copy link.
No,
that was anticlimactic. There we go.
Woo! Oh, this is so good.
This is by LoneWolf_98 on Twitter. And we do have a little bit of a spoiler for the next couple of seasons. And probably, there's 2 spoilers there. But
yeah.
because we have not seen the first and last ones. But yes, it is a lovely 4 images detailing Soifon through the years. And it's just... It's a cosplay. Sorry, did I mention that?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I don't know
you did, because I also have a cosplay this week, and I was like, we both like cosplay, so... Yeah.
But it's just so on point and just so amazing. Yeah, and it's a very good homage to...
Yeah. like sometimes like maybe not obviously, but truly like gatekeeping within cosplay is absolutely bullshit, and everybody should cosplay whoever they want. And at the same time, sometimes there are people who you're just like, oh my gosh, this character is so right for you. There is just something about the way this person's like body type and facial expressions line up that just really suit soy phone, I think. There's one where she's wearing like that slightly more revealing uniform, kind of like she's wearing in that fight with Yoruichi.
Yeah.
And it just looks, it's very like accurate to the source material. Doesn't mean it's better than anybody who like doesn't look just like the source material, but it's always it's amazing when people can really pull that shit off.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Which actually, case in point, so I just discovered this cosplayer, and I think they're super cool. So I'm taking you to an Instagram link, but this person is also on Twitter and on a couple other places, I think. They're fairly popular, but I just found out about them. They're called Jihatsu, and I think they're called Jihatsu-kun on Twitter. So this is a person. Cool. Oh, did that go? Maybe.
If I click the link,
it'll probably go. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So this is a Renji cosplay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So something that this person has made a habit of doing, which I just think is so fucking rad. That's a handmade Zabimaru, by the way. They have like a highlight story, so you can click through the story and they will show you like how they made their Zabimaru in Shikai.
Oh wow.
But the thing that's especially notable about this cosplayer is that they're a black cosplayer who regularly will craft wigs or use wigs that are like, you can like this person is doing red dreadlocks for Renji, for example, so using black hairstyles to cosplay characters from all across the board. A lot of like there's Naruto, there's One Piece, there's, I think Renji might be their only Bleach character, but like you can scroll through the rest of their Instagram and there's like a tutorial on how they did this like super cool dreadlocks wig for Renji. And like they have characters from like Demon Slayer, they did the fantasy AU from Boku no Hero, and there's a Bakugo with dreadlocks. It's super cool to see people taking characters who traditionally, quote unquote, look one way. Oh my god, there's like a Sephiroth with these really long white dreadlocks. It's sick. I just think that it's a neat interpretation of like how to make a character your own and how to like use who you are and like bring yourself into a cosplay. And the Zabimaru is just dope. So big fan of this interpretation. I think it's so cool.
It is really cool. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I just found the Sephiroth. Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I don't know whether this person makes most of their wigs themselves or not, but you know, just give them a follow. They're still pretty active, and so I'm sure, like I said, I just found out about them, and so I followed them instantly. They talk about the journey of hair there. Oh my gosh, I think they've done a Geralt of Rivia as well. Like, fuck me. Geralt of Rivia with dreadlocks? Like, stop it. Ugh. Anyway, they seem really cool. Give them a follow.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I love how we both did cosplays this week as well.
Right. We're like and we both had, I think, art last week. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Time is good. Yeah.
We don't discuss this previously, listeners.
That's true. That's worth noting. We don't. Can you imagine if we just came on with the same thing one day?
I think
it's not entirely out of the question.
No, I think Lethan and I almost did one episode.
Oh, sure.
But I can't remember. I don't think it actually was. Oh, it was, and she had a backup. I think that's what it was.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha. Well, anything else to touch on, or is that us?
No, that's us. Just don't get disheartened by the filler episodes. Just skip them, and we'll join you again.
Yeah.
Don't.
Or don't. Like, there's some I don't know. There, like this arc is very, like, it's very silly. Like, there's a lot. I find it's a very silly filler arc.
I love.
That doesn't mean it's good.
I love how it does focus a little bit on the Soul Society a little bit more. You've got
Yeah.
You've got Geen at the end of episode 167 saying, "Good luck, Kira."
Yeah. I mean, he's right.
He's right.
My brother and I still, like, occasionally, there are just little things about the filler arcs that have stuck out to my youngest brother and I. And we will occasionally say to each other, yeah, he gets drunk from sake-flavored pickles. Like, what the fuck is that? So if you're interested in bullshit like that, then, like, I guess watch this filler arc. But we'll tell you which episodes we're skipping ahead to at the end of our whole outro spiel.
Yeah.
So never fear, we will keep you on track should you desire to be kept on track. Otherwise, watch the new Captain Shusuke Amagai arc, I guess. Up to you. Don't say we sent you, and don't say we didn't.
The choice is yours. Yeah.
Yeah. Do watch the intro and outro songs.
Definitely.
Because they're lovely. Opening and closing themes. Those are the words I was looking for. All right. I'm just gonna bring it on home. Because you wonderful souls, that is the end of another episode. If you like what you heard and want to get involved, you can find us by searching for The Seirete on Instagram and T Seirete on Twitter. Now, Ichigo and Rukia might reap souls, but we are hoping to reap some 5-star reviews, and that is where you come in. Make like our favorite orange-haired protector and Ichigo to iTunes and Spotify, because that's a thing you can do now, to rate us and review us and make us feel like #1. And to those of you listening on YouTube, don't forget to be like Chad and give us that good thumbs up. We really appreciate it. On the next episode of the podcast, we'll be covering anime episodes 190. So skip quite a few. 190. Waco Mundo chapter restart, which that's what we went with, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I guess so. 191, The Frightening Banquet, Xylapero Theater. who even cares? And 192, okay, well, the name of this episode, we got some variety here. It's called Nell's Secret. A big-breasted beauty joins the battle, ! Question mark.
Interesting.
Wow. I sometimes I copy and paste things and I don't read them beforehand, and this was one of those times.
So does Nell know Halibel? Is Halibel gonna join us? Ooh.
Probably. Okay, well, don't worry about it. We'll see you souls until next time. Bye!
Bye!
Did you say bye, or did I miss? I
said bye.
Oh my god, Discord hated that too. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Rude.